Cable Bahamas has been and continues to be a positive shot in the arm for our summer camps. We look forward to it. Without Cable Bahamas, I don't know if we will succeed because we look forward to the funding and we are very appreciative, particularly the Cable Cares program. We are very appreciative to what they do.
We thank the Cable Cares Foundation, which would have given into this program, and it's going to pay dividends in the long run because each one of these children are affected.
Well, Cable Bahamas Foundation has helped us in a huge way. We are out there looking for all kind of help, and I am so happy that the Cable Foundation didn't decline us based on the economy and what is going on today.
So they've been with us for a long time, and we look for them to be with us for many years to come.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the Bahamas given the all clear and spared the wrath of Ericka. But wait, forecasters say hurricane season is just heating up. So we go over your last-minute storm action plan. Also, an alternative to solar panels or generators during blackouts. I'm Paige McCartney. We've got those stories and more straight ahead on NB12 Weekend. Once again to NB12. The all clear has been given now that Tropical Storm Ericka has dissipated. The storm, which at one point was projected to hit every island of the Bahamas, has been reduced to just a tropical rainstorm. And after days of preparation, with some boarding up their houses and stocking their cupboards in preparation for the storm, the National Emergency Management Agency today discontinued the tropical storm warning issued just hours before. Kyle Joaquin explains.
Ericka has dissipated into a trough of low pressure. An all clear is now in effect for the entire Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Tropical Storm Ericka is no more. After sending residents into a frenzy cramming food stores and racing to get their hands on bottles of water, the storm, which was projected to miss Snow Island, has dissipated. The National Hurricane Center in the U.S. has discontinued all advisories and warnings now that the storm has degenerated into a trough of low pressure. Its remnants are expected to bring rainfall of 3 to 6 inches to parts of Haiti, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic through Sunday. Now, although Ericka won't be impacting the Bahamas as a tropical storm as previously projected, islands of the central and southeast Bahamas, according to meteorologist Trevor Basin, are expected to still get a lot of rain from tonight into Sunday.
These rains could cause moderate to severe flooding throughout these islands, particularly in low-lying areas. Small craft operators should also exercise extreme caution for strong gusty winds and rough seas near heavy showers and thunderstorms over parts of the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands for several more hours.
Ericka has no doubt caused some destruction in the Caribbean, killing several in Dominica and Haiti. Initially, projection cones had Ericka covering the entire archipelago. So what exactly happened to Ericka within a matter of hours? The tropical storm had been struggling to keep intact before it hit the island of Hispaniola yesterday. And by the time the storm left Hispaniola's mountainous terrain, it had been reduced to a mere rainstorm. But now that the first day of public school has been put off to a week later, a slew of events canceled, and a lot of money spent in preparation for Ericka, some have questioned, could forecasters have not seen this change sooner? Basin admitted that meteorologists in the Bahamas did have their queries, but they had to follow the lead of the National Hurricane Center of Miami, as it is the designated authority by the World Meteorological Organization to give positions and forecasts of cyclones.
Outside of that, we have been in constant contact with the Hurricane Center, arguing our point of what we felt or the probable likely track of Ericka, and we were always saying towards moving westward and staying to the south of Dominican Republic, and then eventually to impact with Cuba.
Now, just so you get an idea how seriously some people took this storm, the shutters at the Solomon Supercenter are still up. Now, we know here in the Bahamas, it is somewhat of a tradition for people to wait until the last minute just to be sure that the storm is coming their way. Captain Russell said, although nothing happened with Ericka, whenever a new watch is issued for another storm, people should still take it seriously.
The partners that are working with NEMA, we have done a fairly good job, including the media, to get an information out based on what we were seeing. And I think that primed or prepped the community to do what they should be doing at this stage. Like I said, we don't want to lose a life because of a storm, okay, or because persons not preparing for a storm.
But in the meantime, all emergency teams dispatched have been ordered back to base. Russell says as this was more so of a test run for NEMA, he's pleased with how smoothly communication went and how well prepared the public was.
This is like a trial run for us to test all of our systems to see how we can truly function in this property here. And I think all of those who would have visited us during the course of the past 2 or 3 days, I think they're pleased with the service or the level of operation that they've seen conducted here in the facilities. So we're truly pleased with the state of the facilities.
But while residents breathe a sigh of relief now, we've still not hit the peak of hurricane season, as that isn't until mid-September. Meteorologists are keeping their eye on a new system falling off the coast of Africa with a 70% chance of development.
Yeah, just off the coast of Africa, as we speak, there's a system and it has a 70% chance of development. Now, as you know, this is the hurricane season, so we expect these systems. So the general pattern is easterly waves, or these waves or some moisture coming off the coast of Africa, moving towards the west, towards the Bahamas, and being steered by the subtropical high. So it steers them westward. So yes, but however, we'll keep an eye on that development, but this is a part and parcel of our duties and what we're trained for.
The remnants of Ericka are set to hit Florida sometime on Monday. Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, each hurricane season, massive weather systems threaten the Bahamas, with several major storms making landfall in the past 15 years, while the most recent storms like Francis, Jean, and Irene remain etched in the minds of people. Meteorologist and weather historian Wayne Neely says the Bahamas has a history of being hit hard by storms. In fact, while many may think the Bahamas has seen the worst of it over the past 10 years, he insists the worst decade of hurricanes was experienced nearly a century ago.
Back then, actually, we had much more aggressive storms. I call them the main storms of the 20s. In 1926, you had 3 hurricanes in 1 year. You had the 19 hurricane, the Nassau. Back then, they didn't name hurricanes, so in 1926, you had what you call the Nassau hurricane of 1926. That's known in the record books as the Nassau hurricane because it devastated the Bahamas, but it devastated Nassau and the entire Bahamas. And then you had, that was in July of 1926. In September of 1926, you had the Great Miami Hurricane of 1926. That also devastated the Bahamas. In the 1926, the July hurricane, we had 258 to 268 persons dying in the Bahamas from that storm. Then you had the Great Okeechobee Hurricane of 1920, which is based on my latest book. That one killed about 1,400 Bahamians in Florida. And then you had the 1929 hurricane season. That it was a low year, but we had a major hurricane that devastated the Northwest Bahamas.
Neely says the darkest period of storm history in the Bahamas is mostly a memory.
I think most residents, the older persons, would talk about this storm, the 1929 hurricane. That's based on Blind Blake's Run, Come See Jerusalem, and the old persons would always pass it on to their children about how great this storm was. And then the 1933 hurricane season, you had several storms on that year. You had
Despite hundreds of people dying and thousands of people losing their homes during the decade, Neely says the focus is placed on more recent storms like 1992's Hurricane Andrew that killed 4 people in the Bahamas. Still, he says while there has been a lull in more recent years, he cautioned residents to take heed of the past. Many islands are still expected to experience severe weather overnight, and the Bahamas Red Cross is still poised to act in the event anyone needs assistance after this or any other storm. But according to its director, Carolyn Turnquest, there's a big need for after-the-storm supplies. Here's Jasmine Brown with more.
Turnquest says while shelves are not empty, there is still plenty of room for hurricane supplies.
Right now, in terms of preparedness, in theory, I should say, we are fine. In terms of stuff that we will need, for instance, grocery items and stuff, should we have an impact, we are not really at full capacity.
Adding to the issue is the fact that there has been increased traffic at the Red Cross over the past few days. According to Turnquest, walk-ins have increased this past week in light of the storm, and as a result, supplies have been flying.
As you know, we have to order supplies in advance. However, during the course of time, those same supplies are needed for persons walking in. Since the mention of the pending hurricane, we've had persons coming in seeking assistance on a much larger scale than we normally do. So the items that we do have in stock now, we've seen ourselves giving them out, and so we will need to have those replenished.
Turnquest says food items including rice and canned goods top their list, and added that it's never too late to give.
Things that will sustain people, once they get past the hurricane.
Last year, Red Cross officials reported that donations to the nonprofit organization dwindled. Hurricane season has historically been one of its busiest. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
In other news tonight, police are reporting 2 shooting incidents overnight, which left 1 man dead and 2 others in hospital. The first incident, which occurred at midnight, took place on Faith Avenue South. Police say a man was shot in the arm as he was leaving a nightclub in the area. He was taken to hospital where he remains in stable condition. Police said the second incident took place shortly before 2 a.m. on Minnie Street. Police say they got a call about a shooting in the area, and when they arrived, they found 1 man dead in the street, shot multiple times, and another man still alive, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The survivor was taken to hospital where he remains in serious condition. The murder count is now at 97 for the year. Stay with us when NB12 returns. An impending storm means power outages. How you can get backup power without the high cost of a generator. That story and more right after this break.